All right. What's good, everybody? For those of you that will be tuning in, welcome to the Terrible Towel post-game show, live from the steel basement. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about here tonight. A lot to talk about. I'll allow some of you guys to get up in here, man, and then, we're going to kick this off round table style tonight. Got my partners in crime that's going to be on the show tonight, Kenyon, and my brother-in-law, Tony. And we're going to rock out, man. I'm going to spend a few minutes just, giving you my quick hits. I'm not going to go into all of the detail like I normally do because I just want to have a live discussion. I think you guys like when we do that raw emotion. So I'll give you guys a few more moments to get up in here. And I'll give a few shout outs to you guys and then we're going to get rolling, man. So real quick, man, for you guys that are already in here, how did y'all like this game, man? How you feeling? That was a crazy one, right? It was a crazy one. And for you guys who are wondering, the phone queue is working tonight. Kenyon and Tony tested it out for me. In fact, that's the reason why I'm able to bring those guys on the show tonight. So definitely, if you want to call in, the number's on the screen, 619-924-0818. You're going to have to keep it quick, really quick, in and out. I'll just let you know in advance. We're not going to be able to get to every single call tonight, obviously. But if we get you on, be quick, in and out. And then you guys know the routine. Hey, if you want to shoot up that ladder for a small donation, I will take your call right away. Again, I just got to do something to, try to be fair as I can. Obviously, going in order doesn't always work. I'm not going to take every call. But if you must talk for a small donation, I will grab your call right away and get you in. But all right, man, I'm not going to waste too much time here. Let me go ahead and give some quick shout outs just to, first 20 or so viewers. Shout outs to Yag TV, Lydell Dorsey, Michael Garman, Christian Gonzalez, Jordan Mid, all of the above, Kegels Bagels. I like that name. That's kind of catchy right there. Vista Light, Jared Devil, More AGWS, Ollie Howard, Reggie Carter, Pino P, Jay Vega, User Hitstick, and he must be a Madden player. Shout outs, man. Samantha, I don't want to butcher your name. I'm just going to say Samantha E. And maybe you can give me a phonetic spelling to get it right. Lance Watson, Sasquatch. I like that name too. Let's see who else we got really quick. Oh, look at that. Look at Sasquatch. See, Sasquatch know what time it is. He already ready to donate. $2, I appreciate that, and he wants me to bring him in. So you know what? Without further ado, let me get to my points really quick, and then I'm gonna bring my fellas on. And actually, what I'll do is get to my points really fast, bring in that call, then I'll bring in Tony and Kenyon, and we'll chop it up. But I'm gonna take my man's call first. Appreciate that. But anyway, let's get to my points, man. First and foremost, let's talk about a few negative things really quick. What'd I tell y'all, man? What did I tell y'all? Do y'all remember that I was one of the lone ones out there saying, look, man, I know we riding high right now. We're confident about our defense. Let me turn this light down a little bit. There we go. We're confident about the defense. Defense have been playing well, but what did I say? I do not trust the offense until they show me that they can do something. I didn't trust Mason Rudolph until he shows me that he's willing to take shots down the field. Until we're willing to see Randy Fiedner take off the cuffs, allow him to take shots. I said I wasn't comfortable until I saw that. We saw it tonight, but we saw negative Mason Rudolph. All right, and I'm not going to go all the way deep into it because I want to allow Kenyon and Tony to talk and, give their thoughts on it. But let me just hit some quick points. Those interceptions right out the gate put us in a hole. Right, and some people were down on the defense. I look at Twitter because some of you guys, follow me on Twitter, but I just look at the general public and the Steelers fans. Everybody say, "Oh, the defense sucks." It was the domino effect. What happened in that situation is we go 3 and out, perfect start by the defense, turn the ball over, touchdown. All right, put the offense back out there, another turnover. And what's going to happen when your defense is continuing to be on the field like that? They're going to drag. They're going to, show some fatigue and things of that nature. That's what happened. Yes, I was a little nervous too because up until later in the game, I didn't feel like our offense could do anything. Okay? So that's one negative I definitely got to point out about Mason Rudolph. Very shaky start. Scared me a lot. watching him. Here's another thing. His passing, man. You know, a lot of his balls seem to float out there. You know, it looked like they hung up in the air a lot. And more importantly than that, most of those throws were behind the receiver or they were underthrown. Okay? Most of them were underthrown. Look at how many times that maybe Juju had a step on a guy or whoever else. You know, pick a receiver. They had a step, little step, you know, not saying they had a huge step, but they might have had, you know, an NFL step on a receiver. I mean, on a defender, underthrown. Even a little pass that he tried to force the Vance McDonald down the sideline and, you know, try to throw it up, underthrown. And let's not forget, Miami played decent defense. You know, they got that New England style coming, you know, with Flores coming from there. You know, they got the looks that they give you and they man you up and, you know, you gotta beat your man. And we had some good opportunities out there, but sometimes early in the game, it appeared as if our receivers weren't getting open. So I can't wait to watch the All 22. I think they kind of changed my mind later on. I think it was more so of Mason Rudolph being gun shy. And then you saw late in the game where we could have put the nail in the coffin. Johnson wide open, overthrows him. Washington has a step on a guy, overthrows him. And at first I was critical about taking those shots at that moment. However, I had to digress and I had to say, you know what? I'm always saying that the Steelers are never putting their foot on your neck. They stay conservative. I couldn't be mad at us taking those shots at that moment. I was a little upset because there's a little over 8 minutes in the game. You're thinking, come on, don't do that. However, I can't be upset with them trying to be aggressive. Johnson was wide open. That was a touchdown. What else, guys? I want to see what else I got really quick, and then I want to get right into the call, man, and get right into bringing my guys on. It's so much that I got, but like I said, I want it to be a discussion. I don't want to just throw all my points out there. Huge sequence in the game. I think all of us could identify it. Huge sequence. TJ Watt jumps off sides before the 2-minute warning. Gave them a first down. And at that moment, you're thinking, come on, TJ. It was 3rd and 4. Got an opportunity to get a stop with 2 timeouts, right? And a 2-minute warning. He jumps off sides, gives them a first down, and I was a little down at that point. Then, you got to think about this, TJ Watt. And again, he's still young, but Fitzpatrick played that perfectly. Act as if he was going to hike it. Even called out Mike Hilton blitzing. And he did a veteran move. Got TJ to jump. You got to be a little more disciplined in that situation. Then, there was a terrible call by the refs on the offensive PI. Later on. Oh, wait. I'm skipping something. All right, so Fitzpatrick gets him to jump off sides. And then Minka Fitzpatrick, the other Fitzpatrick, gets an interception. Right? We get the ball back. Then they call us for a ridiculous call of offensive pass interference with an amazing catch by Johnson. We get the offensive PI, and I'm in the dumps again because I'm like, man, I just don't trust this offense. What happens later on? 3rd and 20. I was about to say New England Patriots, but Flores comes from the Patriots tree. Calls an all-out blitz on 3rd and 20 and leave Johnson wide open across the middle. He houses it. Amazing block by James Washington. I mean, took dude off his feet. We get the touchdown. That was the biggest, most single, hugest. I'm going to make up a word. That was the hugest point of the game right there. Biggest play of the game, clearly right there. Changed the tide. Bada bing, bada boom. We know what happened at the end of that. So, all right, let me go ahead and bring on the caller, man. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. I got some points here I would throw at you guys while Kenyon and Tony are on. I'll be reading through my notes. But let me bring in the first caller. Like I said, my man donated. He said he is area code. Let me find him here. Let me go back. Area code 519. So we're going to bring him in first. Try to be quick for me, my man. And then I'm going to bring on Tony and Kenyon. All right, first up, area code 519. What's going on tonight, man?
Not too much, Sam. How you doing?
Good, man.
Thanks for everything you do, man. You bring up an awesome show for the Steelers Nation. So a quick question for you. Johnson, would you say he's officially our number 2? And after watching these games, today's game, what do you feel about the Colts' next game being at home? Thanks again, man. Have a good night.
Man, definitely appreciate that, man. See that, guys? Quick call in and out. And I'm going to answer that really quick, as well as I'm going to unmute Tony and Kenyon, and I'm going to bring them in right after I answer that. But, man, the Colts game, I'm going to share that thought with Kenyon and Tony. So, real quick, man, I'll get to that in just a moment. But I will talk about Deante Johnson. Deante Johnson, I think he's definitely arriving as the number 2 receiver. Interesting enough, all of us said that he would be the X receiver. That's primarily where we thought he would play. Obviously, Moncrief is probably not going to get his job back in terms of being that guy. James Washington is a Z. So you got to understand, when we play offense, when we go 3 wide, 11 personnel, that's pretty much how it's going to be. The perfect setup, like they eventually did later on tonight, putting Juju inside the slot, Johnson at the X, and Washington in the Z. And Washington, man, I can't judge him that much tonight because Washington, he had some targets. Rudolph missed him. Threw the ball behind him quite often or threw it too far in front of him. But absolutely at this moment, Deante Johnson is working his way up to being the number 2 receiver. He made some awesome plays tonight, not only just the, getting into the end zone on that one play, but just some of those catches he made. He's showing up. He's showing us what most of us thought we would see from him, when we watched this film. Now, real quick to talk about the Colts, and let me bring Tony and Kenyon on. Man, listen, I don't know. I don't quite trust that offense, man. I mean, we got to be honest about it, and I'm dying to hear what Kenyon and Tony think, but we still didn't look like an offense that you could count on, or an offense that you felt like was going to score. I didn't feel like that whatsoever. And, the Colts is probably a better team, obviously, by record and probably by talent at this point than Miami. So I tell you this much. Do I think we got a chance to beat them with the defense, how they're playing? Yes. But we cannot get into a hole the same way we did against the Dolphins, against the Colts. That ain't going to work. That is not going to work. But Tony and Kenyon, man, whichever one of you guys want to go first, man, let's hit that point, and then we'll just talk about the game a little bit.
Well, I'll go first because we know with Kenyon, we don't know what he's going to say, but we can go in there and we can play around with the Colts if we want to.
Right. I
mean, they have potential to line up with us man to man like the Dolphins did tonight, and a lot of their starters, some of them were hurt. We have one of them on our side now, so they don't have the same type of pass rush in the team that a lot of teams that that has pretty good defense. But the Colts have a good defense, and we can go in there and play. We can't get behind like we did tonight because I'll tell you, the number one guy that we're going to have to stop when we play the Colts from a defensive standpoint is Marlon Mack. And then you have T.Y. Hilton, and then, the quarterback. The quarterback can move around in the pocket, can run, he can make plays with his arm. So we can't, you look at Eric Ebron, another potential. Sometimes we have problems with tight ends sometimes. So, he could be a problem, and then you have Jack Doyle. So, in that pass rush. So we can't get down like we did tonight. And Kenyon had to remind me something tonight that this is his third game, Mason Rudolph's third game.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can forget that sometimes. He's going to be a little gun shy. But I'm telling you now, you see some things out there, some potential that when he gets all of those things together, he's going to be something special. That's all I got.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Before we throw it to Kenyon, just to comment on that real quick, because I meant to say that. I have to slow down and pump the brakes a little bit not only is it his third start, but I mean, this dude coming off a horrendous shot and concussion. I mean, I'm sure he can say all he wants. He's not worrying about it, and he needs to take, get a piece of contact to get back in the groove, but it's in the back of your head. And maybe some of those throws were a little rushed. I don't know. But I think what we saw tonight are correctable things. He just made me a little nervous tonight, and we might not get away with that against another team. But what you got, Kenya?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win. I'm glad Tony came around to the positive side since he bashed the Steelers the whole first quarter. and
y'all should have seen Leonard.
As far as oh my God, it's like
Leonard was going off.
I told him I'm gonna start calling him Joe Torre from Poetic Justice. That's gonna be his new name, Tony Torre. Start calling him Tony Torre. You know what I'm saying? I mean, talking to that yeah. But you see, I mean, basically what you saw was he was, like me and Sim were texting each other, and Tony, he was just off on those throws. He was behind the receivers on all those throws, and I agree with you, Sim. I think it was just, he had to be nervous because that shot, he doesn't remember the shot. You know what I mean? So like when you don't remember something and you get back on the football field, you're going to be a little gun shy. And I think Fichtner was kind of doing that during the game. So I think I mean, we have to be patient with Mason. I mean, you just have to be patient with him. I mean, the reality of the situation is that he will be our quarterback, barring injury, for the rest of the season. So we have to be patient with him. He has to start completing those deep shots. Basically, to me, he's an inconsistent quarterback in his third game, and hopefully he will progress each week, and the Steelers will allow him to throw different passes and see if he gets his reads down. Because what he is right now, he's a one-check quarterback. Mm-hmm. So he'll go for his first read, and then that's where he's going. So he has to, try to relax. They try to help him out on offense, and if the run game works, then the pressure is not on him to make those throws. It's better to be 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 3 than 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 14. You know what I mean? So the offensive line can't get ridiculous penalties that puts us in like 1st and 20 and, and 2nd and, those type of long yardage downs aren't good for Mason. And he basically only threw deep balls on the outside, and he went to the inside, but that was late in the game. So besides that, he just has to relax, let him grow. I mean, I know people don't have patience for that situation, but always, you have to have patience in those situations because the reality is he's our quarterback right now. Right. Yeah. So it's just the reality of the situation. And so, I mean, complaining about it and saying he's not a number one, he's not a franchise quarterback, to me, you're just venting just to vent. Like, you can use that energy for something else. You can you can build a house or something, or cut the grass or something for that. So, I find it interesting when people do that. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe it's because I have a measured approach towards my squad, as you do too, Sim. I try not to get overly angry, or annoyed with certain things that go on with Pittsburgh. It's just because I'm a big picture guy. So, I mean, that's what I saw from the game, and that's how I feel about the Mason thing, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man, you got to give the kid a chance to grow. I see we got some calls filing in, so we're gonna bring you guys in just a moment. What about, man? Let's talk about that first interception real quick. That one to me was the most telling as far as how much he has to grow, because I see what he was trying to do, but I mean, that's a tough throw regardless. And not to mention, I think it was Pouncey. One of them dudes got pushed back into him, so he couldn't really step into it. But you cannot, like Kenya said, you can't eye that down and just try to fit it in there. You just can't do it. And even with that, because I was joking with Leonard in text. He was like, "Oh, he's all over Juju," and I'm like, "Yeah, but look how underthrown the ball was. What's Juju supposed to do?" Right. Juju actually was behind him. So if he, puts it over him a little bit, maybe you have a chance. The safety's right there, but what do y'all think about that one, man? That first one probably was one of the worst decisions I've seen out of Mason Rudolph.
You go ahead, King.
I would say it is the worst decision I've ever saw Mason Rudolph in his short time being a quarterback. It was the worst decision that I've ever seen him do. Because he basically they were playing man the whole game. Basically what they did what the Patriots did. Just play man. I mean, they run the same defense. So, you know, he shouldn't have made that throw. I mean, the check down essentially was there. He could have checked it down to wasn't that that was Connor, right? That flared out. So he could have checked it down to Connor.
I think so.
And I would have accepted that. But you know, with Pouncey being pushed back, you know, he tried to make that throw because it was third and 7. So you have to try to get to the sticks. And you know, he threw it a late pass, and it was a horrible pass. And you know, it's just one of those things that's a learning thing. That's a progression, learning, understanding to get rid of the ball quicker. You know, one thing that people have to realize is that he's not getting rid of the ball like Ben does. He's not doing the 1-2 and it's gone. He's not doing that. Ben had the fastest release of any quarterback in the NFL as far as getting rid of the ball last year. So you have to look at it like, okay, he's going to wait a little bit longer. He's not going to see the receivers. You know what he doesn't do well right now? He doesn't throw open receivers. You understand what I mean? Like, he doesn't make the throw to open them up, to open up to the pass, like the pass where it looks like he's not open, but Ben was the master at that. Throw him open. And he underthrows a lot of balls too, Mason. But that's a progression thing. It's the thing I was saying in the chat last week. Somebody was telling me that Mason Rudolph had a stronger arm than a third-string quarterback. And I was like, no, he doesn't. Because that third-string quarterback can make that throw. He can make that you know what I mean, that 3rd and 8, you know, comebacker. He can make that throw easily. You know what I mean? Mason doesn't make that throw like that. He throws the ball deep. That can throw you off, seeing somebody throw the ball deep. But if you notice his deep balls, they're like floating.
They float,
balls. You understand what I mean? They float. They're not it's not like a strike. So, you know, to me, it's just a progression and a learning curve that he has to have. And I know people don't have that type of patience, but the reality is I have to have that type of patience. Sim has to have that type of patience. And Tony, you really got to have that type of patience. Leonard, I don't know what to tell you. Because, you know, we're not going to please you. I mean, they're not going to please you at this point. So the reality is that he's a young quarterback. Let the quarterback grow. If he fails in certain situations, great. But at least you know what you got. I mean, you can't throw the guy in the trash without, you know, letting him have a chance to show you something. So I see positivity out of the situation. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's just a progression throw, and he'll learn from that. But that's on you, Tony. How you feel?
Yeah, let me bring Tony back in there. What you got, Tony?
Well, you know, it's like what you said, the raw emotion of what you go through when you're watching the game, and then you see the little things when you think about it. Because, like, you look at, like, okay, you know what I'm going to say, and Kenyon brought it up. Man, Marquise Pouncey always getting pushed around all the time. Remember he did last year, we almost had a safety with Ben in the end zone when Juju got that long 75-yarder.
Yeah, I do.
Against Denver, yeah. He always getting pushed around, but I mean, he's athletic down the field, but he's always getting slapped around all the time. You know, pushed around, pushed down all the time. I think what I'm trying to say is that the rest of the pieces that are on the field, and you guys can help me with this, I think that sometimes they should give them a little bit more help. And I'm not saying the you know, like Deante Johnson, he's a rookie. But, you know, the other guys like Juju or, you know, the offensive line can give him a little bit more help sometimes. You know, and that's just what I look at. Because like you said, he's young and he's not going to have that kind of experience. And like you said, people are so quick to throw him in the trash, but I can see some things about him. I'm not at that point to throw him away like that because I see some good things about him, some things that he does. That's you know, that's real nice. It's just, you know what I mean? I'm just looking forward towards someone, you know, other guys around him giving him help. That's all.
Yeah, man, and we'll go ahead and grab some of these calls. And guys, remember, keep it quick, man. In and out. If you can please do that. My man, the last call set the tone. He was great. Before we do that real quick, though, I'm just going to say this, and I'm not going to call any names, but y'all know who y'all are. Some of you guys in the chat right now, I seen you on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I know. And when we were down 14-0, I seen y'all saying, this is why Tomlin needs to be fired. He got to go. Where that energy at, man? Listen, again, I always say this. I don't care who the coach is. I am a Steeler fan. I just laugh when there's inconsistency amongst the Steelers, fan base during the game. Like, you should have your opinion regardless how you feel about a person, player, coach, regardless. It shouldn't change with every snap. And I see a lot of people do that. It's just funny. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and grab these calls, man. We got a bunch of them. We got 2 412s in, so we're going to take the first one, 412-728. You are live. What you got for us?
Hey, Sim. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. It's Smitty from Pittsburgh, just chilling with me and my dad, just watching this game. But I just want to get three things. James Washington owns number 40 because he put him on his butt twice.
Oh, yeah.
And that the only disappointing thing with the defense was letting those 2 third and long conversions. And also, I think a lot of issues with Mason Rudolph is that he hasn't seen a lot of pro defenses. Like, I remember they said back the game he lost against the University of Texas, they played cover 2 a lot like Miami did, and he struggled reading that. So I'm happy to see him take the step forward, but that's all I got. All right, have a good night, guys.
Yeah, man, we appreciate the call. I don't think it's much for us to comment on that. Definitely agree. One thing I did want to say about Mason Rudolph before we go to the next 412. Here's a funny thing. I seen somebody in the chat say, this guy is not a baller. There's much better quarterbacks in the 2020 through 2022 draft, right? But here's my question, and I want people to ponder on this. Was Mason Rudolph not a monster in college? Was he a bad boy in college? Did he put up numbers? Did he set records? My point being, I'm just not in the business of identifying a franchise quarterback immediately in the draft. Sometimes. But I surely didn't think Ben Roethlisberger was going to turn out to be what he is. I'm just saying. We can't compare Mason Rudolph to a guy playing in college right now.
Oh, yeah. And also, Sim, he Ben struggles against cover 2s, too.
He sure did.
But I'm going to leave it alone. And he still does sometimes.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. If you're going to try to compare how a quarterback does when they first get into the game, Ben Roethlisberger didn't do really anything his first year. They basically ran the ball and tried to beat teams with their defense. You talking about being conservative back then? That's Bill Cowher. They really didn't trust Ben at first. So if you want to have that discussion, remember Ben was a third string quarterback. He wasn't supposed to be in the game. But when Turnover Tommy got hurt, he was forced to play.
Right.
So it's very interesting how people look at quarterbacks and they say they should walk in and play good, or they'll look at the Carolina Panthers quarterback that played well, but he wasn't doing great stuff. They just managed the game. You manage the game with quarterbacks that are young like that, and to compare quarterbacks that's in the NFL to quarterbacks in college, or compare them to Patrick Mahomes. Do you remember when Patrick Mahomes came out? He was not projected as a top 10 pick.
That's right, and I was on it.
That
was my guy. I was like, yo, this dude arm talent, my goodness.
Yes, he did.
But here's the funny thing too, man. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm just looking at the chat. Y'all are going with recency bias. Y'all talking about Ben went 115. Listen, if you thought Ben Roethlisberger was a franchise quarterback when he was at Miami of Ohio, then I didn't know. I did not think that. That's all I'm saying. I didn't think that when I watched him play there. I really didn't hardly know who he was. So all I'm saying is I'm not making excuses for Rudolph. I'm just saying, and Tony and Kenyon agrees, it's too early for me to say that this guy ain't going to be a good quarterback. It's way too early for that. That's just me. Now, if you guys think y'all can call that right now, okay. I just can't call it yet.
Yeah, I saw. It's funny how you said that. I saw his Kenyon. It was funny because I went back to look at his 2004 stats. His average yards per game was 187 yards in passing. He had 30 sacks, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And you remember in the playoffs against the Jets, Remember, he threw about 2 or 3 interceptions in that game, and we could have lost. I mean, they managed that game. Our defense was the one that kept everything going. For 17 touchdowns with 11 interceptions. Now, you look at that percentage.
I think the funny part is that we're in a society now where they want you to produce automatically. You don't have the room to grow as a quarterback. Or you'll see like Kyler Murray, you'll see like the Jets quarterback right now, the rookie, and you just expect him to just come in and ball out. But it's in this situation, people have a short memory. Like, they just don't remember that Steelers team. That Steelers defense was not a good defense. It was a great defense. I mean, you have to remember, it was the Ravens and the Steelers. They had the 2 best defenses in the league. So basically what you're saying is, oh, Ben was doing this and that. I was like, go back and watch those games. They were 15-1. And remember, he made a lot of mistakes, because if you want to compare the 2 quarterbacks, Mason throws interceptions because he's more of a read guy. He's like a one and done guy. Ben made interceptions because he wanted to be Brett Favre. He wanted to make that throw that you shouldn't make and try to fit it in there. That's Big Ben's whole career.
Yeah, man.
So, and when he was at Miami of Ohio, he was a great quarterback, but he was a great quarterback, and he was projected to go where he went. But and that was the Steelers' #1 target. And I saw him at Miami of Ohio, but I didn't look at him like, oh, this guy's gonna be our next Terry Bradshaw. I didn't look at him like that.
I didn't.
But he didn't prove me wrong. He just became what he became, a great quarterback. So I just want people, when you do that, man, just please know your research. If you know your research, I'm good with you. When you don't know your research and you start saying stuff that you kind of don't know, that's when I have to like check out, because I'm like, okay, I can't help you at that moment. It's more like do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting how people look at the standard or whatever. And I just seen the comment from Droves, keep talking about Mahomes and Russ. You didn't know Patrick Mahomes was going to be Patrick Mahomes. You didn't see it. He didn't play as a rookie. He did not play. He was on the bench. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, man. I'm sorry, guys. We always go down the rabbit hole, but it's just, we're just that type of fan base. Myself, Kenyon, and Tony, and many others in the chat. You just can't. You can't make judgments so early. And all I'm going to say is, for everybody in here doubting Mason Rudolph, let's say he turns out to be a great quarterback and great franchise. I want y'all to say the same thing you're saying now. This dude is not a franchise quarterback. Let's see. Let's just see. Maybe he's not, but let's just see. But all right, man, let's pick up the pace, man, and we're going to get to a bunch of calls. I think we'll just get your calls in. We'll let about 4 or 5 of them go through, and then, before we start talking. So next up, area code 412. What you got for us?
How you guys doing today?
Good, man.
I wanted to say, I was on Instagram earlier and just on Steelers fan pages looking at some comments, and a lot of people after the first quarter doubting Mason, telling him to put Duck in. And I'm just thinking the whole time, wait until, the end of the game. I think he'll get better. And, a lot of people just don't understand what it takes to come in as a backup QB and actually perform well. Because him only being a second-year player doesn't know the playbook as well as, someone like Big Ben would. I just think a lot of people are too fast to jump the gun on young guys like that. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, man, we definitely appreciate your call and comment. I agree, man. Give him some chance. Give him a chance to be good or bad. Area code 318. What you got for us?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good. What's going on, man?
From the weekend. Man, I was impressed with how he kept his poise, because he started off real messed up, and I think he was timid from the concussion. So he needed a minute to really get his feet wet. And I was glad to see him let him throw the ball more than 6 yards down the field. At least he was going down the field. Some of his throws was off, but I can live with it.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it takes time. What I'm worried about is both our running backs. Look like they both got banged up. I need to see how this gonna play out. Because everything starts with the run game, you know. And as far as the success with Ben and all that, Ben did his thing, but people forget Ben was a game manager when he first started out.
Talk about
it. Don't turn the ball over, run the ball. Look at the offense that we was running in. We wasn't throwing deep on this. Little dinks and donks. Run the ball. Defense keep us in the game. Ben don't mess it up. And that's how we won. It wasn't until, last 4-5 years we started really just like throwing the ball crazy.
Yeah.
But that still ain't produced us no rings either. So, I mean, we gotta find something that's gonna work both ways. Defense did their job. I like what Bud did. TJ a monster. I'm glad that we ended up with this Watt and not the other Watt because he stayed a little banged up too much for me. That's all I gotta say.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate it, man. He dropped some knowledge, man. Pretty much what Kenyon had been saying. Listen, man, go back and watch the tape. Yeah, Ben made some plays. Of course he did. But we was running, I mean, fullback, Jerome Bettis. I'm just saying. All right, let's move on and grab some more of these real quick, man. And keep them short for us, guys. Keep them short. Area code 559. What you got for us?
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I just want to speak up on our defense. We have a solid defense right now. Solid defense. We've been waiting on this defense for a while. And at the same time, Ben and Mason, you can't compare the two. Them two different eras.
Right.
Back then, we had two different styles. Because now with defenses are lighter linebackers built to cover and for spread offenses. So that's two different eras. You can't speak about that. So, but our defense, we're figuring out on offense. We're figuring out. But our defense, we've been waiting on our defense to be solid for a long time. They're good on the front end. They're good on the back end. We get the ball back. We're number one in takeaways. We're number two in sacks. That's what counts. We're figuring it out on offense.
Yeah, man, I agree with you, to some degree, to some extent. But, I will take a moment right now really quick to just have a quick discussion. Bunch of calls in the queue, guys. I can't promise we're going to get to them all, but we'll try to get as many as we can. Here's the thing, guys, about the defense. Kind of how I feel about it is basically what we've been saying, man, for the last few weeks. If we can hold teams to no more than 20 points, we have a chance. But I still don't know. Are we really that defense? Do you guys have confidence now that we're the defense that can make a play or get the stop when we need to? Are you feeling better about that right now?
Man. let me just say this about defense. It's kind of simple. Yeah, the defense played good once they were down 14-0. But look, man, they have these little tangents of I don't feel like tackling.
Yes.
And that has to get out there. Yes. That has to get out their system. Another thing that happened in this game that was very telling as I started to text you and Tony was, they started to attack Joe Hayden.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. They started to attack him, and they were successful. So, when I see that type of stuff with an aging corner and big receivers, big young receivers, I start thinking in my head, I don't know if he can play outside that much longer, because basically he would have to, even though he was keeping him in front of him, I'm saying to myself, but if it's 3rd and 8 and he's getting 8, you know what I mean? If it's 3rd and 7, he's getting 8. If it's 3rd and 10, he get 11, and they kept coming to his side. They kept testing him. So they don't even want to throw on Nelson's side. They threw on Nelson's side one time. That was it. They did not want to test him. So clearly, Joe Hayden is the number 2 cornerback. Clearly, it's clearly now. But those tangents of I don't feel like tackling, Bush does it. I'm not even gonna start on Mark Barron. I'm
Oh
not talking
my
about
God.
48. I'm not talking about 25. I'm saying, you know how I feel. So that play where that receiver scored, I was like, come on, man, you got to make the tackle. So.
And even Nelson was trying to rip the ball out. You know, he's standing there like, man, make the tackle. Hey,
oh my gosh.
But I will say it's, and we know this can't happen every week. And maybe if we keep saying this, maybe they will keep doing it. We seem to be creating these turnovers when we need turnovers. That Mike Hilton play, I mean, of course, you know, Minka getting 2 picks was great. The one he laid out for. When's the last time we had a center fielder like that? But
Troy.
Yep. But Mike Hilton.
Yep.
Those are the type of dudes that can play for me. Never give up on the play. Chase it down, get the ball out. Boom. That was a huge turnover. But what you think, Tony, man? Are you feeling more comfortable? Do you think, you know, hypothetically for the remainder of the season, do we have the type of defense that you feel like can get a stop when we need a stop?
I haven't seen it yet. It's like when you look at just not trying to compare teams because they have some studs on that team in San Francisco. I mean, we've been looking at it throughout the whole year. I mean, even from last year, but just going to compare from this year. I mean, every time, you know, you looked at it, they had like a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20. They was wind up getting the first down. So no, I see the pressure, and like you said, I see they picking on Joe Hayden a little bit. Those little slant plays somehow or another. They wind up getting those plays, and like Kenyon said, I looked at that. I said, "Are you kidding me?" And he just was. It looked like he was like a pinball machine. It was like he was bouncing around till he got into the end zone, and I was like, "Wow, no one." I mean, Mark Burns was there. I was like, "Man, these guys are like soft down there or something." You know, I'm just not used to seeing stuff like that. But no, I don't feel confidence. I can see the turnovers. I can see the sacks. All of those stats look pretty and everything. But the bottom line is, look at our record. We are where we are, 3-5.
Absolutely, man.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, man. It's funny, man. I just, you know, I glance over here at the chat and I just see some of the perspective that some of you guys say. I'm not even going, you know, like I said, I got to stop going down rabbit holes, but you just look in the chat and some of the people that y'all say are trash or they're not good. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, man, our defense to me is they have spurts, and you know, I'm not going to take away the fact that we are where we are as far as getting turnovers and sacks. That's great. But I also will take it at a different angle. And Kenyon says this all the time. Keith Butler. You know, it's certain times that I'm still like, why would you do that? Now, listen, I'm no professional, but I played the game and I've watched the game enough to know when certain situations happen, how different teams defend it. On that touchdown, the first one, not the second one, but the one when the dude was wide open. Everybody knows when you get in about the 7 to say 1 yard line range, if you come out in man coverage, a pick play is going to happen. Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
The best teams, the way they defend it, is they have auto checks where you're in man coverage, but the 2 corners or whoever it is over there know, look, if he goes in, I'm going to switch off, take your man, you take mine. But you pass it off. Or a lot of teams, what they do is they do like a real tight zone. So, you know, a lot of times I've seen teams will kind of put their corners in somewhat of like a flat, like a hard flat type of situation or a cloud. That way, even if the dude leaks out there, somebody can still make the tackle. But in that situation, we went straight man coverage. And it was easy pickings. And I'm like, see, I don't understand that, man. I mean, there's a time and place to run man and a time and place to run zone. And of course, it doesn't always work either time, but you got to put your guys in the best situation, man. You have to. But I don't know. Those are the things that bother me, man. It's not so much the players. It's just these players are still coming around, and we see that we got some dogs on the team. I just don't always feel confident in Keith Butler's play calling. So, but all right, man, let's grab a few more calls here, man. Area code 404. Keep it quick for us, guys. What you got for us, man?
Hey, man, I just listened to you guys talk a couple of things on defense. I feel that we improved from last year. And I think improving is going to keep facing the job, unfortunately, the defense coordinator. And then secondly, nobody really hadn't talked about Boswell all year. He's been pretty accurate this year compared to where he was last year. That's all I got to say, Carter.
Oh, man. Appreciate your call, and you reminded me of something real quick before we take the next call. That was another thing I meant to talk about, bad decision. This is just me. And I'll throw it to Tony and Kenya to see how they feel. I didn't agree with the decision, and you got to put it on the head, man. I didn't agree with Tomlin kicking that field goal from 54 at that moment.
Yeah.
I felt like go for it, because we're 2-4 football team. We got to put everything on the table and go for it. And the reason why I didn't like the kick is when they said this was his career-long attempt, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Nah. I love Boswell, but if we haven't, at least been in a situation where this dude has nailed this type of kick, and not to say that you got to go with the analytics. It's just at that moment, I think that was a perfect opportunity. Go for it. Take a shot. Don't kick no 54-yard field goal that you don't know if your man can hit at that moment. It didn't come back to bite us, thank goodness, but I didn't like that, man. I disagree with Coach on that one. What you think, Kenyon and Tony?
So on you, Tony.
I disagree with him in that spot. Like you said, he should have just went, and just try to get the first down and ran a play. But just to put Boswell in that spot, and as we always hear, is that kickers are very tricky people, if you will, because they can miss that, and it'll mess their whole psyche up.
Right.
So, so that's why you shouldn't have put him in that position. I understand, though, I guess, I'm not going to say I do understand his thinking, but, in that spot, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I agreed with Sim on that. I don't think it was going for it at that point, they were kind of in no man's land. Right. I would have accepted a punt or a pooch punt, and I'd have took that. But to try to make that call at that moment, and I know Tom was probably feeling like Bosworth has been great. Bos been great this year, so let's let them try the 54. It's just tough to make 54-yard field goals in that stadium. So
exactly,
especially at night. So it's kind of like I agree with him on that, but that's a big thing. It's just it didn't hurt us, but I agree with you. Tomlin is what I would call a risk taker, but sometimes his risks aren't what you would call a sound decision.
Right.
He's disciplined, but he will make decisions. Sometimes you say to yourself, like, why'd you do that? But every coach does that. Bill Belichick's done it. Every coach does it. So, it is what it is. It didn't bother me. I have a topic we have to get back to before we get off, and it's Juju Smith.
Oh, we
going
there.
Where are my people at? Yeah, where are my people?
Yeah, we going there because I think we're going to take one more call, and then we're going to spend the majority of the rest of the time talking about individual players, and then we'll try to come back to the calls if we can. But like I said, guys, we only have so much time. It just is what it is. We can't get to all of them, but we definitely coming back to that. And also, I wanted to comment real quick on somebody in the chat. We're not saying that we're down on Boswell. I didn't blame him for missing that. I'm just saying, in that moment, it's a tough spot. I understand what Tomlin was trying to do. You cut it down to 1 point at that point. I get it, but nah, I think I would have went for it, man. But, coach is coach, and it is what it is. We ain't going to agree with everything. Area code 609. What you got for us?
Coach is coach.
Mute that background.
SimFBallCritic, Kenny and Tony.
Good, man. Make sure you
How
mute
you
the
doing?
background. We got double audio back there.
All right, no problem, man. Great game for the Steelers. Mason Rudolph, low iffy in the beginning and stuff like that, but like you said, the defense saved us. Minka Fitzpatrick, he's a stud. Snatched him for a first-round pick. I think he's playing like a first-round pick. So, yeah. And Deante Johnson, we got him. Like that he's special, you know. He's just making plays and stuff like that, you know. Don't forget about that. I mean, it didn't count, but don't forget about that offensive pass interference. That catch he made on Xavier Howard and stuff like that. He's gonna be something special. But look, moving forward for the Steelers, we can't start slow. Look who we playing in the next few weeks. Playing against the LA Rams, play against Indianapolis. The season's gonna get tougher and tougher. We gotta win these games and stuff like that. We can't be trailing behind. We just gotta do something about it. We gotta try to slow down T.Y. Hill and stuff like that. Indianapolis got a lot of weapons and everything else, but I feel as though we can pull out. It's gonna be in Pittsburgh. So it's gonna have the home field advantage and stuff like that. But it's gonna be difficult. I just want to know what's your thoughts, and do you think we have a chance against Indianapolis? All right. Thank you, and have a great day for all three of y'all.
No doubt, man. We appreciate the call, and we'll wrap up the show at the end on final thoughts on facing Indianapolis. But yeah, man, we definitely agree with what you said there. We can't start slow. I don't think we're that team. Tonight it happened to work. I mean, the scouting report said that you could run the ball on Miami. Let's not get away from that. Maybe we could talk about James Conner really, really quick, and then we'll jump into everybody else. James Conner with a game, man. I mean, this dude, excuse me, the injury prone, man. He just, it's not his fault. You know, I know people will try to say, you know, somebody, you know, we be joking around. Me and Tony, we joke around all the time, say somebody's soft and they a bum, but in reality, we know you can't necessarily control how prone you are to injury. It just happens. You know, some players, they're just like that. And it sucks because Conner, I love his demeanor. I love his attitude when he runs the ball. That dude is a fighter. I mean, the dude overcame cancer. Obviously, he's a fighter. He runs like that. Like, the dude runs like he's mad at the world all the time. And he wants to show everybody what he can be and what he can do, but he gets hurt. But what a game. You know, I don't know if we're going to be the type of team that can do this on everybody. So the offense still shakes, you know, a little shaky. I just don't, at this point, I don't look at us as a possible playoff team. Even if we get there, who we going to beat out of the top teams? I don't see it. But what y'all think about Conner, man?
Yeah, you want to go first, Tom?
Yeah, I just be real quick with it. It's just the same thing. It's just very good player, very good football player. Like you said, his story and everything, and it's not his fault, but it just seems like it's always the injuries. I mean, every game, just like just before we was closing up the game, he leaves out. I mean, I'm not sure. I didn't see anything yet of what's going on with him, but every time he turn around, it seems like he's hurt. So, I mean, and I know we're going to address it when we finish the show. If Benny Snell is hurt and Connor's hurt, I mean, we have a short week. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you know, we have, I mean, we going in the game just a little short, you know, and it, what's his name? What's the brother? He just escaped me right now. His brother is playing backup running back.
Oh, Edmonds.
Right now.
Trey Edmonds.
Edmonds.
Yeah.
Edmonds. Trey Edmonds. So, I don't know, but, you know, like I said, Conner, I mean, very good guy, very good running back, runs hard, physical. But, I mean, how long he's going to last? You can take it over, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Connor's okay. Hopefully he's just a nick. But if he doesn't go, it is what it is. He's missed games so far every year.
Yeah.
Running backs aren't supposed to play 16 games straight without getting hurt. You're going to get nicked up, especially if you're running the ball the way Pittsburgh was trying to run the ball today. And but you got to remember, Jalen Samuels has been practicing. So if he's practicing, he might be closer than you think to coming back. So, if Jalen Samuels can progress through the week, I think they kind of sat him out to see how he, give him couple of more days to see if he can go. And if he can go, that's great. Benny Snell, don't know the extent of the injury, but hopefully he'll be okay. And then, if we have to go with Trey Edmonds, it is what it is. People get hurt. If you expecting people to not get hurt all year, then, it's just that's a misstep on your part. I mean, J.J. Watt got hurt yesterday on a sack and didn't look like he got hurt.
Yeah.
Stephon Tuitt got hurt on a play that didn't look like he got hurt. So, if you want to go through that game, J.J. Watt has missed 3 of the last 4 years, has missed the rest of the season 3 of the last 4 years. And he's a franchise player. So
yeah, it just happens.
Get hurt, man. It is what it is. It's called football.
Yeah.
It's not called flag football or touch football. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. And I felt bad about, just to go off the Steelers for just a quick second with JJ, because it almost hurt to watch, because he got up and kind of was looking at his shoulder like, oh, something don't feel right. But he finished the play. Like, it's crazy to find out when you get up like that and you feel fine for a second, the next thing you know, you can tell your chest or something that don't feel right. Next thing you know, you're out for the season. And I was like, man, come on. But yeah, it happens, man. It's football. But I think we all agree, Connor, yeah, he is a little injury prone. And remember one time we were saying that about Bell.
Yep.
So
I don't want to bring that up. I didn't want to bring that up, but people would think Le'Veon Bell never got hurt. I'm like, what are you talking about? He missed a whole year. You know what I mean? And so, the reality is he plays running back, which means he will get hurt. He will get hit. He will have falls. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't care if he weighs 250 or if he weighs 195. I mean, the odds and the metrics will tell you that he will get hit and hurt by somebody. It's reality.
AC shoulder. There's an AC shoulder injury.
Yeah. Oof. Short week. I don't know if you're doing that. I mean, it's not serious, but it's serious enough to keep you out the game for a week or two, definitely.
Unless he puts
the big Ragu hurt too.
Yeah. I saw that, man. And at one time, I didn't even notice. I saw Alex Kazur had tweeted it out. At one time, they said that DeCastro had went into the locker room. I was like, man, come on. But all right, man.
Yeah, but he can't back.
I guess we can dive into some of these players and some of these points emphasis. The first thing, real quick, which just kind of includes everybody, definitely on the offensive side of the ball. What's up with all them penalties, man? What was going on tonight? Gotta do better, man.
Tim, I told you that ref was frustrating me though. But part of it, but like you said, that's really on them. You know what I mean? It's really on the offensive line and getting those motion penalties, and it's like you gotta clean. That has to be out of your system at this point, man. It's game. What is this? Game 8 or game 6? Well, yeah, it has to be out of your system. But it's frustrating. You know what I mean? But I don't like those reps. I'm not a fan of those reps. I've seen them rep other games.
Yeah.
They call out penalties.
They do.
So it's kind of like, it is what it is. I mean, we survived it. And Miami got their share of penalties, stupid penalties too. So I guess I can't say it was just one-sided because it was both ways. So, you just got to clean that up.
Yeah, man, pretty bad.
Yeah.
So Minka Fitzpatrick.
Much you can't say about that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
It was pretty bad. And like I said, the one with TJ, man, that could have cost us big time. But luckily enough, it didn't. But that was a huge, you can't do that at that moment. And guys, we're equal opportunists when it comes to placing blame, even on people we love. You can't do that at that moment, TJ, because if had that been Tom Brady, I'm just saying, you cannot do that. But it is what it is.
And the antithesis of that penalty would be the Deante Johnson bad offensive PI call.
Oh man, yeah, horrible. All right, man. So let's talk about some of these players. First up, man, Minka Fitzpatrick, man. Let's talk about his performance and whether or not you think he's a first-round pick. And, I'll be quick with mine. We've already talked about the first-round pick thing. We know where we had to go in the draft. We got him a year early. It's just that simple. I think this dude's play has shown us already what he can be for the Steelers defense. And he will be here for, 3 more years after this season. I think it's well worth it. Who knows where the Steelers are going to finish? You're not going to get a player of that caliber looking at this draft if you're talking about safety, and they were not going to go after a quarterback. So we can probably put that to bed. As far as how that dude played tonight, man, he got off. That's what I've been waiting for. A real playmaker in the secondary. I think we got another playmaker in Devin Bush, obviously, at the second level. Now, on the far back end, we got Minka Fitzpatrick. And clearly, TJ Watt is our playmaker. I mean, we're going to get to him too, but he's clearly the playmaker on the defensive line, along with Cam Hayward. But TJ Watt, you got a game plan for this dude. Love it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Minka, man. What y'all got?
Like you said, Minka is worth it. First round pick, we got it early. He's going to be even better next year. Just being familiar with our team and the playbook, he's going to be even better next year. So that's all I have on him. He's going to be what I call a lotto stud.
Lotto stud.
Yes. I don't have any. I mean, Minka to me is was he worth giving up the pick? One word, yes. Is there a safety coming out in this draft that's as good as Minka Fitzpatrick? No. And I like, and me and Sim already, me and Sim love, and I was watching him Saturday. Grant Delpit.
Yes,
and,
Lord.
I love that dude, but he's not Minka. He's not like that. He's more of an inbox safety actually. So to me, there is no safety that was better than Minka. The first round pick, the only argument you can make for that first round pick that we gave up is if we lost all our games and we had a shot to get Chase Young out of Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only argument you can make to me. You can't throw anybody else at me because I'm going to say nope. Because what we need is somebody, when 48 is gone, we need somebody to replace him. And he will replace him. So, to me, that's the only argument you can make. All the other players, I don't care about them. I'm taking Minka. If Minka went in this draft coming up, he would go top 5. Bottom line. So, Minka is he's an eraser, and he's only going to get better, like Tony said. I mean, you can see his progression. You can see him learning the defense. You know what I mean? Feeling really comfortable in the defense. That play we got the pick, he was baiting Fitzpatrick. The second pick, he was baiting him. So, I love Minka, and I like his demeanor. I like how he just wants to come to work. So that's all I got to say about Minka. I'm good with Minka. Thumbs up.
Yeah, man, and I want to say this real quick. Noman, he says, I have to work tomorrow. Good night, guys. I appreciate you coming through, man. Definitely appreciate that. I feel you. So do we. So that's why we're not going to be much longer. Next up, man. And real quick, man. Guys, stop comparing safeties to Troy Polamalu. Please stop doing that.
Yes.
It's just not fair. It's Troy Polamalu. Probably could very well go down as one of the best safeties of all time. Overall, how he played, his instincts, and come on, man, that's just not fair. That's like saying that your cornerback ain't Dion. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, we got to stop doing that. It's not fair.
You know what I mean? Like your cornerback's not Rob Woodson. Like,
yeah,
on,
man. Like
it's not happening. It's like relax.
And here's the funny thing, though. We might have 2 of these guys on our team right now. We might be looking back one day and saying that about TJ Watt. and Devin Bush.
Yeah.
Those could be dudes we'd be like, man, when we had those guys, it's going to be hard to get another one of those.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You know what? I have to agree with you.
Well, speaking of TJ, man, let's talk about him real fast, man, and I'll be very brief. This dude is everything that we hoped he would be. Because remember when we drafted him, I don't think any of us thought he was the guy. Only because he was kind of what's left. What's left out of the litter. We got to get a pass rusher, and he was there. We thought we would be able to get him. We did. He was a project. And look at this dude, man. In his third season. I mean, my goodness. That strip sack. See, you don't teach those things. Those are. I played with people, you know, from little league all the way up, when you just saw special things like, oh, that dude's special. You can't coach that. And TJ is one of those dudes. The way his pass rush and his attack and his motor, his instincts. And I get on Leonard all the time because he's like, man, why can't Bud be like TJ? I'm like, he ain't TJ. He will never be TJ Watt. I don't care what anybody says. He's not that type of guy. Dupree is gonna win with speed and some power. That's about it. And when he gets off, but he's never gonna be like Alex and Dave say on you know, Steelers Depot. Quality of sack is probably not gonna be associated with Dupree. But it is with TJ. You know what I'm saying? TJ wins his one-on-one and tracks you down. And then when he gets there, he makes a play like ripping the ball out of your hand as he sacks you. Come on, man. Monster. What y'all got?
Lotto, stud.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yes. He's everything that we want in a pass rusher. He's everything that we want to be wanted him to be as a teammate. I mean, just look at everything that he does, man. I mean, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, man, he just keeps going. I mean, he is a stud.
Yeah.
To me, I have nothing. The only thing I have to say about TJ Watt is, as I told you guys earlier, he is approaching elite status. He's approaching elite status. To me, is where he's going to do this all the time. He's almost there. Like, he's getting to the point where he's almost there. And, you know, that play he made, I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's you know, I'm not even going to get to I don't even talk about 48 compared to TJ anymore. I don't really want to talk about 48 at all, personally. But, you know, I know I have to sometimes. Sim has encouraged me to try to take it easy on him. I'm trying. I'm working my hardest. I'm going through the steps to be a positive guy when it comes to 48. But I'm never not stop calling him 48. You know what I mean? Like, if he leaves, you know, I call him his real name. But right now, he's 48. So it's just, I think that TJ is what he is. He's almost elite. He's approaching elite, and I think he's almost there. And it's a joy to watch him play because of how he's progressed as a linebacker. You know what I mean? It's a joy to watch him play. And, you know, I'm just happy we have him. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. And I think just so you guys kind of know where Kenyon is coming from, with Dupree, it's more or less a day late and a dollar short, man. You know what I mean? It's if he would have been what he's actually showing to be this year for all of the time, it might be a different conversation. And that's what it is. Like, you guys got to understand how analytical we are and how critical we are in judging the team and watching guys. We're talking about a guy that hasn't really lived up to the hype. He's now in his 5th year option and he's getting paid $9.5. And y'all, and you know, people are saying bring him back. Man, look. However, and even Kenyon conceded to this, we know the Steelers. If he's affordable, he may very well be back because our depth is going to be very weak come next season. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if he has played himself into a contract, but we'll see. You know, who knows? You know, he might have played himself well enough for another team to make an offer. We'll see, but that's what it is. That's where Kenyon's pain comes from when this dude, and I share that pain, is he has not been, you know what I'm saying? He ain't been this guy, man. If he had been this guy for 4 years, no complaints. But he hasn't. We all know that. Every year we talk about, let's see if Bud could just be. Come on, man. But all right, we got to talk about 2 more guys, man. No, go ahead, Kenya.
No, I said, I called him this government name 2 years ago.
Sure did.
But I got to a point where it was just like, and I told both of you, Sim and Tony, I told you, I was like, look, man, if I get to a point where I'm start calling you a number, then I don't have it's not even a respect thing. It's just all the Instagram photos talking about I went to camp with to outside linebacker pass rush camp, and then I see you in a game and it's the same moves that I saw 3 years ago. I'm sitting there saying, okay, like where's the progression? So it's it is what it is with him. It's and I agree with Sam. I conceded this the other day. There is an outside chance that 48 will be on our team again.
Yeah.
I was just mad that they paid him $9 million. They picked up that's what I was mad about. So, there's an outside chance because, like he said, our depth is going to be horrible next year. I mean, because I don't think Ola is an everyday starter.
Nope.
I don't think that. And now that I don't think Chicka's going to be gone, and we're drafting. We have a second round pick, but the pass rushers that's coming out, unless the Steelers can identify somebody that they think can come in and start and progress, hey, 48 might be on the docket again, and they might have to pay money to get them. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts on it. It's just,
there will be extra money too. That's the funny thing, because AB can be completely off the book. So it's don't be surprised, folks. We shall see. So 2 more people, man. We're gonna save the best for last, but Deante Johnson, man. We got to talk about how we feel about this kid. And again, I'll be brief. This is what I was hoping. And again, he hasn't arrived yet. Let's slow down. He hasn't arrived yet, but he's starting to show us what he can be. And a lot of people laughed at some of us when we said, look, man, watching this dude's film, he's not Antonio Brown, but he can be our Antonio Brown. Plays a similar game. He's twitchy. He can make guys miss. Even look at how he read the block that James Washington threw. Tremendous block, but look at how he slowed down, allowed that to happen, cut back inside. Very decisive when he runs the ball. Even though he was wide open, he broke down the middle of the field, took the best angle to get as far as he could, allowed that block to go, boom, got in there. Made a phenomenal catch, a couple phenomenal catches tonight. And he looks like he's becoming Mason Rudolph's #1 target. He was getting separation. Love it. I just want to continue to watch this dude progress, and all of the young players, because again, I'm not thinking playoffs, anything right now, but I'm just enjoying the process, watching these young dudes, these young guys develop. And I think Deante Johnson could be a special player for us, so we'll see. What y'all got on him, man?
A phenomenal player, man. I mean, he's young. Like you said, made some great catches. Wasn't he the one that they called an offensive pass interference? I mean, we were hot about it.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a touchdown. That was I feel like that was a bad call. But it is what it is, and I mean, he's making his catches. He's doing what he's doing. You can see a lot of promise in him, and what he does. Like you said, a little twitchy. He can do a lot of things and make some real good catches. And Mason, just like you said, the third game, and, he was a little off tonight with the ball. So throwing behind, throwing it a little short. So, but all in all, he's going to be a good wide receiver for us, man. You can see it.
Yeah, I know how Kenyon feels about him.
I don't have like a big, I think he has the potential to be a great outside receiver, a #2 receiver. I don't think he's a #2 yet, because I don't think he blocks well enough to be considered a number 2.
That's a good
You know what I mean?
point.
Like, so
Yeah.
especially the way that they run their offense. They're trying to run the offense when they put Nix in the game. When they get into those sets, he's not a good enough blocker. He's too light. Right now, he's light right now. So, and I don't think he's ever blocked in college. I don't think he was asked to do that. So, I think that's going to be a progression that he has to. It's a progression that he will have to develop as he goes along, because Antonio Brown wasn't a great blocker when he came out. So, it's just that's a progression. And once he gets a little bit bigger, I like his upside, because I think he's not a 4-3 guy, but when he's running with the football, he makes a lot of people miss.
Right.
And he's fast.
Oh, yeah.
He's quick. He's quick, not fast. So it's kind of like, I like his progression. I like how he's developed over the year. But I will say, and you can mark this today because it's going to happen, and don't be worried in the chat, it's going to happen. Steelers will draft a wide receiver for competition next year. And they might take one early. Just trust me. I'm not saying who it is. I'm not saying who they might take, but I have people in mind, and Sim and Tony know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So and I'm not gonna say his name, but he had 7 receptions for 185 yards and a game-winning touchdown. That's all I'm saying. But he would be, they will draft a receiver, and it would be the opposite of what they have now. So he'll be basically like a street deep threat. And to me, that's when James Washington will be in trouble. That's how I look at it. That's when he will be in trouble, because you get somebody that's big and fast. That's a different discussion. So.
Yeah. Well, we got to address the elephant in the room, man. Juju Smith-Schuster is not a number 1 receiver. I don't know what else. Look, I can't change anybody's opinion, nor will I ever try to. But I'm just saying, we get a chance to see what some of these receivers are able to do when they get a chance. The main thing that we saw differently tonight, we stuck with the run game, but we were passing that football. Mason Rudolph was taking shots. Mason Rudolph missed a lot of shots. But we seen some combative catches definitely by Juju and Deante Johnson, and Juju taking the ball out dude with hand. That's number 1 receiver type mentality for me. Tight coverage, he was coming up with the catches. And this is interesting. I will throw this caveat out there. I wanted to see more of him against Xavier. I wanted to see more of that. Howard got hurt. So, Juju, of course, exposed it. He exposed the guy who was against him, Needham or whatever his name was, number 40. That's what you're supposed to do. And for you guys that wasn't paying attention, how many different defenders was they throwing at Juju? They was even saying it on the broadcast. It's like, this is the 7th guy lined up. They was bracket covered in him. A lot of times it was double coverage underneath. So, he is becoming, and again, just like I said, I can't compare people to Troy. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, Antonio Brown still got his numbers. When come on, man. We not saying that this dude is AB. Who's saying that? So I think sometimes we have to lower our expectations or these lofty goals that we put on every player. Everybody who puts on is still a uniform is not going to be a great player. Those are the facts, hardcore facts. Everybody's not going to be great. Jarvis Jones, okay? You're going to get a few of those every now and then. It's going to happen. The Robert Goldens of the world at safety. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's Artie Burns. So we
25.
can't. Yeah, man, we just can't. I just don't know. I guess what I want to know from you guys that don't like him, what is it about him that make you say that he's not a number 1 receiver? What is it? I mean, because I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just saying, Juju Smith-Schuster to me has made plays in almost every game he plays in. In the games that he's not making plays, we ain't passing the football.
Yep.
We passed the football tonight, and we saw what happened with 2 of our receivers. So I'm just saying, pump the brakes, man. Let's not throw these dudes in the trash because we think they're not balling. What y'all got, man?
Number 1 receiver, period. I mean, he's on our offense also not a stud.
Yeah.
Guy can play football, man. He does all the things that a receiver would do. You know, I mean, he has all the intangibles. He's good, man. Sometimes you just wonder, man, what people are looking at, you know. What they're looking at. But tonight, he played a great game. You know, he did all the things he knows what to do. And Kenyon, you brought up a great point when you talk about blocking wide receivers, because that's all if you pay attention to Pittsburgh Steelers, that's all we always drafted. I mean, they look at those Power 5 conferences, and when we get a wide receiver, we get those wide receivers that blocks. Hines Ward, you know, Santonio Holmes. You know, we get all of those guys that block because first of all, we run the ball first. So we need the wide receivers that block. James Washington with a block. I mean, just the Juju block. Did you see the block? Did somebody look at that block last year when he did to Burfict?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's in good hands. Did you see that concentration that he had to catch that touchdown pass? Just basically took it. I mean, that was a very tough catch right there. So to me, to have that mentality to do what he does, I mean, he's going to be a great wide receiver. That's all I have.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a question for y'all too after Kenyon go. It's an interesting question that just popped up on me.
Okay, so I just saw the chat, and I saw a symbol
Don't look at
somebody.
it. Please stop looking at the chat.
They're talking about Juju. They're talking about Juju. They're talking about Juju. So somebody said if he got separation, he'd be a number one receiver. Let me just break Juju down very simply for you guys. He's a 4.4 guy. He ran a 4.4 at the combine. He's a 4.5 guy on the field. But if you notice, he's always mossing people. You say he's not fast, he can't get separation, but he has the two longest touchdowns in Steelers history. But he's not fast. Then people say he's not a number one receiver, but his stats are always good. He has better stats than OBJ. And OBJ is number one receiver, right? So then you say he doesn't run routes well. He doesn't give out breaks. If he got separation, the quarterback can get it to him. The quarterback can't throw it to him because Mason Rudolph was short-arming throws, and the balls are coming short. So how is that Juju's fault? He gets doubled. He gets tripled. They put him in a slot, and that's how he got open. I just want people to watch the game. Just watch the game. When you watch the game, you can see these things that are what you call flaws. That are obviously they're not flaws. He's a number one receiver with a second-string quarterback and a third-string quarterback trying to give him the ball. He was targeted 5.3 times, my fault, with the second and third-string quarterbacks. He was targeted 7.9 times with Ben. You see the difference? And the AB talk, comparing to AB, Ben forced the ball to AB. That's why he had so many interceptions. Remember the 5-6 game against Jacksonville? That's because he was throwing the force to the AB because AB was complaining on the sideline. See, all I ask you to do is watch the game. If you watch the game, you can have a better assessment of the people that you so-called think you know about or think you know stuff about. I know about Juju, and Sim will tell you, I've known about Juju since high school. I've known about him since high school. I've seen him play. So I already knew about Juju. I told you he was a Steelers wide receiver. I know what he is. He's a true Steelers wide receiver. You should embrace this kid. This kid is coming around, and everybody likes him. He hurts when he loses. He hurts when he makes fumbles and stuff. It hurts him. Hey, that's what I want. That's a Steeler for me. That's somebody that's gonna bleed it. So AB wasn't a true Steeler. He as soon as he could get out, he got out. So it just shows you. Sometimes I have to question: do you know what you want? It's like an instant gratification. I mean, the Steelers aren't an instant gratification franchise. Never have been.
Yeah.
That's what the Rams does. That's what the Rams do. Make trades and do all this other stuff and try to force a Super Bowl. You got to have patience with the dude. And Juju, trust me, he's the number one. And Deante Johnson has the potential to be a number two. It's really about getting the third and the fourth receivers being good. You can talk about the other two receivers or the other three receivers. You can talk about no rack, and you can talk about number 11 all day. And I ain't got no problem with you. But Juju,
But Juju is number one, and I just can't wait. I just want you to keep the same. Just please, y'all keep the same energy and the same negativity. So let him keep thriving, because to me, he's the best thing that's happened to us in a minute. You know what I mean? So, and he's so young. He's only like 22. So come on, fellas. Come on, man. Pump the brakes, man. Just watch the kid.
It's interesting, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll make this last point and ask this question, then we'll talk about the Colts really quick. Then we'll get out of here. And sorry, guys, it didn't take as many calls tonight, but I figured it would be that way because we're doing the roundtable format. So Tuesday, I will dedicate a lot more time to just phone calls. Well, tomorrow. I'm talking about Tuesday, and it's tomorrow. I'm forgetting it's Monday night. But consider this. Here's a question for y'all. Man, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to ask because I at this moment, I can't remember. So I could be wrong. But how many times did Hines Ward get crazy separation on people? Was there ever times when we felt like he was just... Okay. And he was our number one receiver for a very long time. So my question to the people is... Okay, if we were able to accept it then, it's like Kenyon said, what exactly are we looking for in a number one receiver? Is it recency bias when we look at what AB was and the type of receiver he was and he was called the number one receiver? Are you looking for that? Or are you expecting Juju to be Julio Jones or DeAndre Hopkins? He might not be those type of players, right? But the Steelers had a long-standing number one receiver in Hines Ward who was great at everything. Wasn't the fastest. Didn't run all of the best routes. Ran some decent routes. Learned how to sit down in the zone. Like, he knew how to get open. He would block. He was a team player. Juju is a young version of that and bigger. So that's how I look at receivers. I'm not just looking at the big gaudy stats. I'm looking at what does this guy do well? Is he there? Chris Carter. That's a perfect example. Now he won't Randy Moss, but Chris Carter could be my number one receiver anytime.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that out there, man, and see what you guys thought, man. Is if we can say that Hines Ward was our number one receiver at one time, we got to peel the layers, man, and go back to look at just what he does. Don't compare him to Antonio Brown. And somebody brought up a good point in the chat. They said that Humphrey shut down Odell Beckham when they played. And Juju was having some moments against him. I'm just saying, man. Juju has had moments against somebody. And this too. This was the last thing I wanted to say.
Come on.
Can we not acknowledge the fact that some of these corners are good cornerbacks? Why we expect our receivers to torch these dudes on every play?
Exactly.
Xavier Howard is a solid corner. Darius Slade, solid corner. I wouldn't be too upset if Juju struggled a little bit against him. Marlon Humphrey. I'm just saying, man, we can't keep thinking that all of our players are superpower dudes, man. Like, give credit where credit is due. That's all I'm saying.
And the better comparison of Juju, if you want to have an apt comparison to who he is, he's Anquan Bolden.
There you go.
That's who he is.
There you go.
He's Anquan Bolden. That's basically what he is. He's Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden, if you watch Anquan Bolden in his career, he was the number one receiver.
Sure was.
And he wasn't fast enough. He was just big. He was just bigger than that. He was just a big kid. And that's how Juju is. It's just every receiver is not cut the same way. I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. Because if you want to go on like pure talent on who would be the perfect specimen receiver that we had, it would be Martavis Bryant. If Martavis Bryant had hands like Randy Moss and could stay out of trouble, it'd be a wrap. I mean, that's how talented he was. But AB was a precise route runner. He was a worker. That's why Hines Ward was a worker. But AB learned that from Hines Ward because he always says it.
Right.
I learned how to work from Hines Ward. Hines Ward was just a great football player. And like Sim said, Juju is a bigger, faster version of Hines Ward. That's all he is.
Yes.
He's a bigger, faster version. And I never saw Hines Ward beat a corner just straight speed. Now, if they tried to press him and he beat the press, he could get open that way. But you ain't telling Hines Ward to go on a streak and just throw it. You know what I'm saying? So he's not beating anybody like that. So, I don't know what you looking to see. Like I said, his stats are better than OBJ. OBJ has 1 touchdown.
Yeah. Oh man, you hurt me.
He's supposed to have a franchise quarterback. He's supposed to have a franchise quarterback, right?
Man, you hurt me.
Baker Mayfield's supposed to be a franchise quarterback?
With that Martavis Bryant thing. Man, just imagine for a moment. Just imagine for a moment that Martavis Bryant attacked the ball the way Juju does. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh man, that was his issue. We couldn't make combat catches. If that dude could make combat catches, and to me, that's the thing that I don't think people watch. It's the combat catches. It's the catch that Juju made today. It's the catch that he made against Cincinnati when he took the ball out of DB hand and just ran and fell into the end zone. It's those catches. Those when there's somebody on you draped over, you still make the catch. That's the stuff that make you a pro. That's number one stuff. You know what I mean? The guys who don't do that are the guys who aren't number one. You know what I mean? So, look, I don't want to dream and say. I mean, Martavis Bryant on paper, if you drew him up, he's the perfect as far as specimens. Oh my God! Matter of fact, you know who he is? You know who he is? He's the offensive version of 48.
Yep. You're right.
Right.
He had to utilize his speed to win.
Yep.
You're right. I mean, ain't got nothing else to say about that. That's perfect. That's perfect. So, man, it's 1:06 a.m. My goodness, and that little boy going to be getting me up at 7 o'clock to get him ready for school. But we're going to finish with this, man. The Colts. And I don't know if Leonard is still listening. Probably not. But if he is, I'm going to call him out. And I'm going to call him out maybe tomorrow's show. I think I might want to go to that game, man. I might try to go to that one. It's a 1 o'clock game. It's perfect. Even though I won't get back home too late or anything after the game, I might try to make that game. Only if Leonard can go, because I ain't going by myself. But we'll see. But can we beat them? It's hard to say based off of tonight's performance. I beg you guys not to look at the scoreboard. For you guys who may not have seen the game, go watch the beginning of the game. Hats off to Mason Rudolph. He showed resilience, and that's what I like in a young quarterback. He didn't melt, he didn't fade away. Brought his team back to victory. He's just got to improve his passes. He definitely has to do that. I mean, just think about the passes late in the game when we could have put the nail in the coffin. If he hits Johnson on that, come on. The opportunities was there, but we can't struggle like that against a Colts team. We can't. I don't know if we can just lean heavy on the run. I don't know. I haven't watched the Colts, but our game plan, if Mason Rudolph is not accurate and he's throwing the ball like he was doing tonight, it could end up bad. I still don't know if we have the offense. Defensively, we're going to have to be on all of our keys because, a guy like Brissett has given us problems before. So, I don't think they're that much of a team. They're that much better than the Steelers. But at the moment, it's still going to come down to me is I don't know. I don't know what the offense is going to do. So, therefore, I don't feel comfortable playing the Colts. But we'll see. Can we beat them? Is it a chance? Always a chance. But can't play like we played tonight for the first half and think that we're going to beat the Colts. No way.
I would agree. I think the Colts are a team that we have to execute. Really can't make a lot of mistakes. But the Colts almost got beat last week. They actually should have lost yesterday, and and that was an inferior team. And Steelers have a history of playing down their competition. I think they kind of showed a little bit of that tonight. But that was on the players. That wasn't Tomlin. That was the players doing that. And it's just funny. You think about it this way: San Francisco is 7-0, and remember we had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, you're right.
And our offense didn't do nothing in that game. So it's kind of like, you know, I think we can beat the Colts. It's at home. That's a good thing. It's a short week, like you said, but I think if we execute and our defense keeps playing the way it's playing right now, and we get the type of pressure that we need to get, we'll be okay. I don't know that much about the Colts. I don't think I've seen him play a lot, and I don't know how Brissett has been playing in the game. I know he's been playing well. I know he has like the second highest passer rating in the AFC or something like that. He has a big passer rating. So if he's doing that, then they're obviously moving the ball, passing. I don't know if they can run. I mean, stopping the run for them, I don't know if that's a necessity. I think you may have to stop their receivers, and they have quick receivers. So it'll be an interesting game. But to be honest with you, man, the way our defense is trending, I like our chances.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You put a lot of pressure on Jacoby Brissett. I mean, you can get to him. Thing about it is we're gonna have to stop the run first because of their running back, Marlon Mack.
Yeah.
Now that guy right there is nice, man. When I tell you he's nice. And you got to stop him. You know. And then you also have to pay attention to T.Y. Hill. You can't forget him. You know, he's something that, you know, you got to, you know, our secondary got to pay attention to, you know, because he can get past you, and then they're tight ends and everything like that. You know, on the other side is to whether or not our offensive line. Now, I mean, I know we don't have much time, but, you know, we might have Ramon Foster out. Then we have someone else got hurt on the offensive line too, and I think it was Pouncey, I think. So, you know, someone has a calf on the offensive line also. So, you know, we got to pay attention to that during the week. We don't know where that is, but, you know, we're gonna have to really seriously, man, you know, take care of, you know, our young quarterback, man, because they're going to come. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the game when they played the Chiefs. I mean, and I know the Chiefs' offensive line is not all that good, but I mean, they could bring pressure also, and I think Darius Leonard is back too. So we have to, you know, we have to really pay attention to that, because we can get in the hole. If we get in the hole like this, it could be dangerous. And then I'm just not going to say this because, you know, we take one game at a time. But, you know, Sim brought up something to me last week when we talked. There's another team that's coming from L.A. that's coming to Pittsburgh after this game.
Oh, my goodness. That Aaron Donald, that's all I'm going to say.
Donald. Yeah, that team right there.
Yeah, I don't want to. I've already been getting calls from my friends that are Rams fans out here. You know, I've been getting it. So, but I'm just, I don't engage with them. I'm like, man, we don't play y'all. You know what I mean? Until I play you, I can't really focus on you. So, you know, I'm not worried about that. 2 weeks down the road, I want to just take care of business. Be honest with you, I just want to kind of get back to 4-4. You know what I mean? That's what I want. Get back to 4-4, and then, you know, and then I'll worry about what's coming next week. I mean, I will say, if you want an early scouting report on that team, they don't have a number one receiver.
Yeah.
They don't. It's just their offensive system, the motion and all the things that they do that Sim really likes. He likes the way they use motion and puts people in positions. But the reality is with them is, if you stop the run with them and put pressure on Goff, you got a shot. Because he'll throw picks. I watched it. I watched it against Tampa Bay. They shut down the run and just made them throw and just put pressure on them. Oh man! And their defense. Well, this is before Jalen Ramsey. So now they have one guy they can lock on one side, and then they're going with the young corner on the other side. And if they make the trade, like I said, they trade your boy Talib, it's going to be the young guy with Ramsey. So, you know, Ramsey will probably be on Juju, and that's Deante Johnson and James Washington on the other corner. And, hey, I like that matchup.
Yeah.
Just got to block Aaron Donald.
He did it before.
Yep.
You just gotta watch Aaron Donald, man.
He's done it better. He's done it better than AB has done.
Yep.
Remember,
you're right.
Some wide receivers, some corners have shut down AB to a few yards. Where if you look in that game when we played Jacksonville, both Boyer and Jalen Ramsey, Juju mossed them. Both.
Yeah. People don't see that though. They think Juju's not number one receiver. He's slow. He doesn't. He can't make that catch. He can't boss you. He's just a regular football player.
I don't get it, man. But that's how we feel, guys. And I forgot to say this, but I plan to be back tomorrow for Terrible Towel Tuesday. It's a small chance that I won't, and the only reason why is my best friend in the world, man, and also my cousin, him and his wife, they're having their first child. They're inducing her. I just texted him. I said, hey, how's everything going? He said they got their first dosage just about 10 minutes ago. They expect, perhaps a baby to be, around tomorrow evening. So we'll see how that goes. I want to be there for him. But I might wait till Wednesday because my wife can't go with me tomorrow because my son actually has an event after school that she's going to from 6 to 9. So we'll see. So more than likely I will be here. If not, we'll still do it. We may just do it on the next day, or I might do it late tomorrow night. But for right now, we're going to stick to it. It should be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're not going to have all 22, unfortunately, because we played on Monday, so we won't get it for our game until Wednesday. But we'll just talk a little bit more about, reflecting some more on what happened. I can watch the game again. I can watch the condensed version. I just can't get the all 22 yet. But that'll do it, man. So before you guys go, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do that. Like Rough House Boxing always says, if you're not subscribed, you're slipping on your pimping. So make sure you do that. Hit that like button. That helps me out tremendously. I cannot believe the amount of live viewers. Right now it's saying it's 404. That's crazy. But like I said, I'm one of those people that put things into, I see it and I put it into fruition. I speak it into existence. I told you guys that the goal is for this thing to grow. And look at it. It's on its way. And in a minute, we're going to have so many calls that we're not going to be able to get to. So tomorrow we're going to do an emphasis on calls. There's no all 22 footage. So I'll open up that queue relatively early and let y'all, have at it. But outside of that, last thing I would say, if you want to donate, feel free to do so. Click the $sign down in the bottom right corner. If you prefer to do it off of YouTube, and shout outs to you guys who's been doing this. I have Cash App. I have PayPal. It is available for you. The information is in the description if you want to donate. I thank you in advance. And there you have it. But outside of that, man, Tony and Kenyon, y'all got anything else before we sign off?
Hit the like button. Support his channel. He's doing good things. That's my Aries brother. Keep getting us to grow. You know what I'm saying? And just keep doing what you gotta do. You know what I mean? And everybody have patience. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's be diehard Steelers fans, not fair weather Steelers fans. There's a lot of fair weather Steelers fans out there. You know you are. But let's
right.
just do that.
Yeah. I just want to say that Kenyon and Sim, I think you guys do a fantastic job. I like your. I just learn a lot from you guys, just because a lot of times I don't pay attention a lot to the scouting of the young rookies that are coming out of college. So you guys do a fantastic job on this show. And that's all I got.
Appreciate that, man. I definitely do. Yeah, Kenyon, man.
I appreciate that.
I always say I give Kenyon way more credit in terms of scouting, because I'm there a little bit, but Kenyon be on it. And it is great. It's funny how we all came together and we talk, and it's like, I feel like we got all the bases covered when it comes to the Steelers stuff, man. And we all fans of Steelers Depot, and they do a phenomenal job there. So between them and then us with our more relaxed approach, you're going to know everything you need to know about the team. One little tidbit I'll give y'all. During the game, I was like, yo, Kenyon, you recognize that play? That little play to Vinette? That was that Vance McDonald play. Why haven't we seen that more this year? Remember last year when he got Tampa Bay? Why haven't we seen that more this year? And so we that crazy that where we recognize plays and formations, and we them type of fans. You know, we taking notes and all of that. So that's what you're gonna get.
Sim is great at that. I think Sim is great. All I'm trying to do basically with you two, since we connected so well, is just like I'm just trying to bring Sim along to a point where he gets to a point where he really wants, where he really scouts like it becomes that serious to him, because it only makes him more. It just takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
You told me it's the same thing. It's just it will force you to watch stuff that you not in a bad way. You just maybe you want to watch that kid play, or maybe you want to watch certain people play. So, and you know, I can be biased in the situation because I'll tell you about a USC player or whatever, but I just know which players I think fit. But you know, and I try to watch a lot of cats that I can watch, especially when I have time, when I have off time and I am home. I try to do it if I can. But it's just to try to bring it along, to grow it, to become more knowledgeable, so that it makes everything better. Because sometimes people won't look at that, and there's just more information for all of us to grow in a situation. You just want growth. And I just try to bring Sim along. And Sim turns me on to new players. Tony, it will hit you where you'll look at players and say, oh, I saw this kid, or I saw that, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, we're just fake Mel Kipers. We're fake Kyle Machine. That's all we are.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's it.
But yeah, man, we gave y'all a super long show tonight, man. I did not expect to go an hour and 46 minutes, so y'all got extra time. But anyway, we enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow, and the calls will be open for everybody who didn't get on tonight. So with that, I'll say good night. God bless. Be safe. Here we go, Steelers. 1 game out of 500. So there you have it. I'm about to go to sleep, man, because I'm about to fall over. Holler at everybody tomorrow, man. Hopefully you come back. Don't forget, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll have at it again for Terrible Towel Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in, and good night. Peace.